Hey guys, how's it going? Been a little bit since I did one of these videos, so let's take a look and see. There's a lot going on, a lot happened since the last video. Yeah, let's take a look at Bitcoin. So for me, it really makes sense that we are in an accumulation zone for Bitcoin. There's there's so much evidence just piling up. Now, can it go down to 55K? Maybe. I have a buy order. These here are my buy orders right now. I have one at 59.5. I have one at 57.5. I have one at 55.5. Just in case we get a wick down there, in case we play around there for a little bit, I want to gobble some up. These here are my other buys that I have in. I had one here at 61.5. My next one just about hit, but didn't quite hit. Not quite yet. Didn't trigger it. So close. So close. Not yet. But that's okay. I'll be patient. And if they don't get hit, then that's fine. That's fine. But like if we zoom out here, which we need to do. Let's go to the monthly for ease. We can see this nice and clearly. Um, one, two, three, four of the best buy zones were signaled by these indicators. And you can add the blockchain decoded Z-score to it also. You can see signal. Oops, I don't like to have that red. Signal, 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 signal. I just had one. And as you can see, the current one, it turned around and went deeper. We're going to get a second signal on the rebound, wherever this rebounds. Okay. Right now, we are at virtually the same level as we were here in 2022. So bottom signal after bottom signal after bottom signal. And I reposted in X also. Uh, let's see if I have it here. Okay, so let's take a look here. We have the Bitcoin heat meter blockchain decoded at 13 right now. You can see how low it is, historically low. Um, we didn't even make it this low in the first one. The second bull market, we made it to basically right where we are right now in the 2019. We wicked down a little bit lower for a short period of time and then back up. And then 2022, excuse me, when we were at 13, Bitcoin itself was sitting right here at 20, 18, 19,000 um, when we're at these levels. And then FTX collapse happened and we went a little bit lower here. But that's just one more signal looking at the Bitcoin heat meter. If we go over here, we can see I posted this in the Telegram group. I saw this from Quentin 048-ETH on X. This is another interesting one, right? Bitcoin power law. Look how deep this is here. This looks an awful lot like our heat meter, but just another indicator, another metric that just really shows how deep we are right now. And if people are waiting for 30K or 40K, that might never come. It might end up being the same thing that we saw over here. And I remember being here when Bitcoin was at 19K, 17K. Uh, well, I think it got down to 15.6, something like that. I was seeing it everywhere. People are waiting. Oh, it's going down to 10. I have my buy orders in at 10K. It was everywhere, all over X. Never happened. People got left behind. And it's going to happen again. It happened right here. Let's just jump in a little closer. Uh, move back into this past bear market. So this past bear market in 2022, I was buying at 17K. I bought this wick as it started going up. I bought it 17K right here. It went down to about 15.5 or so. My lowest buy was 17.2 or something like that, which is pretty good. I'm pretty proud of that. I mention it quite often. Should have held it. I rotated it. I made a mistake. I rotated it into low caps too soon because I thought the 4-year cycle was real, and I thought that uh, the same thing was going to happen with alts and the rotation based on timing and calendar year. And yeah, I made a mistake. I won't do that again. Um, so we have the 200-week moving average. We have the Bitcoin cost of production ribbon. We have the BDZ score over here. There's the power law. There's the Bitcoin heat meter, and it goes on and on and on. The only thing that I know that is counter these, not even arguments, but just indicators, these facts, these are just numbers. The only thing that argues against it is a calendar date. Well, it has to be October because it's been Q4 um, during a midterm election year. Well, yeah, I guess if that's where you want to hitch your wagon to, if that's what you want to only focus on, I don't know, maybe this isn't the video for you because I'm just trying to look at these metrics, look at these indicators and find these patterns. And so far, these are historically every time these have been the best places to accumulate. Sometimes they reverse quickly, like it did here in 2020, 2019. Right, we go back to 2019. That was fast. Wick right back up over a matter of uh, May, March, over a matter of a few months. We were right back up, and then it was off to the races. Okay, if we think we're something similar to this, and we're in the second part of the bottom, the double bottom, over here we got a double bottom. Over here, if we get a double bottom here, then it's very similar to these bottom formations within the cost of production ribbon. Here we went down below the 200-day moving average, but we got caught by the cost of production ribbon. Here we got caught by both. Here we hit both. And here we hit both. This is more similar to what we're seeing right now. See a big wick, come back, another big wick, and then we'll see what happens over the next few weeks. So right now, I'm buying Bitcoin. I have my buy orders in, and I'm looking to see what else I want to do after we have some sort of confirmation. Oh, getting close to my buy order. Let's go. Nom 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 nom. Eat it up. Another thing that I'm looking at is I wanted to take a look at how ETH historically responds because when Bitcoin goes, ETH typically goes. Now, I'm not a huge fan of ETH, but if I can make a little bit of profit on it, I will. So here's ETH compared to Bitcoin, and what I did was I marked the end of the move, like the bottom of the move, and then when it actually started to turn around and to gain momentum towards the upside. And they're basically exactly the same time. Okay, but often ETH is a lower cap, so it moves a little bit more than Bitcoin does. So I prefer Bitcoin over ETH long term, but if there's a short term move and some money to be made, then maybe I'll get a little bit of ETH exposure. Also, I'm trying to look here at where do I think ETH turns around, and I find there's some really solid support basically where it's at right now with uh I've moved this down. Basically where it's at right now. Support, 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 and then basically past cycle lows is the next kind of major support. Maybe in and around here you can find some support, but if I want to cheat this up and say, oh, I don't want to wait to the last support, then maybe that's an opportunity, right? Still another 17 or so percent down to get to this one, and then this one if you want to kind of stagger them out if you want some ETH exposure. So you got 1, 2, 3 levels to scale into ETH if it continues to fall. Now, I was looking at a whole bunch of other altcoins that I was doing short-term trades on, and I took profit on them. Thankfully, the timing was pretty good. Um, so for Zcash, I sold it. Where did I sell Zcash? I sold it at 540, so right about there's where I sold it, and it's down. That's down about 40% from where I took profit. I sold Render. I sold Render right here when it hit the top of this parallel channel, which is almost perfect. And from the time that I sold it, it's already down 30%. So that's good. I wrote it up. I made a little bit of money, sold it. It's going back down. I'm watching the BDZ score on a higher time frame and seeing how low it goes. If it gets down here, if this trend continues, how low it goes before I consider getting back in. Right, there could be some support around this level also, but that's quite a ways down from where we're at right now. Right, I'm not trying to ape into anything. That's not Bitcoin, possibly ETH right now. Looking at Hyperliquid, I sold Hype here, and then I held on to about 25% of my bag, and I sold it. Look how close that was. Almost right at the tippity tip, but I sold the rest of my bag there. When I was looking into Hype, and looking into a bunch of different coins actually, and I created a tool because I got caught with Deep. They had, let me open this up here. Yes. So Deep was running this thing within their community where people could gain points by using different applications, Walrus, and using different applications on Sui. And then, so they had season one. Season one ended abruptly without any warning on the 2nd of June, I believe it was, and it just dumped. Yeah, the 2nd of June. They have 30 days to claim. So it just dumped. If I would have known and seen that coming, I wouldn't have been holding Deep. Um, I would have gotten out. So I created this tool that searches for news. It also tracks token releases. It tracks these campaigns. And I think right now Hype is in season two, where there could, I think it says here 428 million tokens are still undistributed. So they haven't said how many tokens they're going to release during the claim, but it could be a big dump event. If people start claiming from using the platform, they just claim and they sell. And if there's a significant percentage of people that are doing it, the same thing that could happen with Hype that happened to Deep, and you get caught holding that bag. So this is an interesting tool. We're going to add it to the Alpha Factory so that it keeps track of the tokens in your portfolio, the tokens in your watch list, and just kind of keeps a watch um, to kind of give you a warning and let you know if something a big event is coming up that could dilute the token, dilute the token price, bring it down on you. So that's what we're watching. Um, okay, so heading back over here, Hype, Render, Zcash. I sold Zcash, went over that. I sold it up here at 530, and now it's down almost 40%. I didn't know anything about this supposed exploit. It was just the timing. It was oversold here on the BDZ, so I sold it, and then the timing worked out, thankfully. Um, Ondo, I got out of Ondo also up here before it turned around again. The BDZ score on a higher time frame triggered. I said, okay, I'm getting out. Um, some of the one and all of these that I just went over are still really high. Still have some ways to go because they were so overexposed, um, overextended. One of the ones that I'm actually watching is Tau because it's getting a little bit closer. It's a little further along. Um, so my entry for Tau is going to be in this zone here, as you can see. On the higher time frame, it comes down. It's settled in here on the weekly, and those have historically been pretty good buy zones for Tau, at least on some high time frame swing trades. So that's what I'm watching for. Um, yeah, but still, oh, look at that. Hit my first one, triggered it. That's exciting. So we'll see if I get to trigger all of these, how deep this thing goes. If it goes deeper, I still have some stables on the side to buy a little bit more. But eventually my average is going to be solid in here. I don't see it going down to some people are saying 30K. I think it's never happened before. That would be uh, below the 50 and the BDZ, or sorry, below the 50 and the cost of production ribbon. That would be 50% below the cost of production ribbon, right? So 50% below the cost of production ribbon would have brought it down to 7,000, 7,800. Well, that didn't happen. 50% below here would have brought it down 2,600. That didn't happen. 50% down here, right? The cost of production, the 200-week moving average, that would have brought it down. Let's just say from here where they meet up, that would have brought it down 50%, 1,700. Like it hasn't happened before. So why would I expect something that's never happened before to happen? Why would I plan on that? I just it doesn't make sense. I'm not doing it. Um, so there it is. Anyways, this is what I'm watching. Slowly, my targets are getting hit. Slowly lowering my average cost of Bitcoin because I believe, based on the indicator stack that I've been sharing with you guys, that this is the accumulation zone, right? We didn't go down as far as other bear markets, but we didn't go up as high as other bear markets either. We didn't get as far away from the cost of production ribbon and the 200-week moving average, so it doesn't take as long to work our way back to it. That makes sense to me. Um, it also makes sense to me that we're seeing something similar to what we had here in 2019 because the macro aligns more to this than it does to this, right? Talking about QE versus QT, talking about um, money being printed, not money being printed, but global M2 expanding, talking about uh, we're not in a rate cutting cycle. All these different things aligns better to a mid-cycle correction that brings us right back down to the same prices, the same indicator triggers that a bear market has triggered in the past. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. That's what I'm watching. I'm watching Bitcoin, accumulating actively Bitcoin. I'm watching ETH to see what happens. I haven't decided on my ETH levels just yet. Um, the first one is right here where we're at. Second one is right here at about maybe 1,300 or so, and then down here at uh, Yeah, just under 1,200 at about 1150. Those are the levels that I'm watching, not saying that I'm entering, just kind of what jumps out at me. And as far as altcoins go, the one that I'm keeping the closest watch on is Tau, just because it rolled over first and it's closest to getting to the levels that I'm watching for entry. All right, guys, if there's anything that you don't agree with, let me know. I'll consider it. If there's any coins that you're watching that you think I missed, let me know. I'll take a look at them. Do the whole YouTube thing, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm going to leave it there. All right. Talk soon, guys.